In this video, we'll continue the process of building the shader network for our monster's horn. Okay, so in the previous video, here's where we left off with the monster's horn, and I'll go ahead and open up the render view and take a look at what we had in the previous video. We managed to get these striations that ran down along the length of the horn, but before we achieved this look, this is what we originally had. Okay, now I did originally like some of the bumpiness that this had, but I also liked the striations that we had in this one. Okay, so how can I go about achieving a mix, having a shader that has both this bumpiness to it and has the striations that this horn has? Okay, so in this video, that's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and make a shader that has both of these attributes in it. Okay, so here's where we left off with the previous video. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn the striations back up on that to where we had them in the previous video. Okay, now what I can do is I'll go ahead and make a new fractal. Okay, and this fractal will be the bumpy one, while this fractal will be the striated one. Okay, what I can do is let's go into this fractal and let's make some adjustments to this so that we wind up with just a few bumps here and there. Okay, so till we come up with a look that's pretty close to this. Okay, go ahead and close the attribute editor. So now what we have are two fractals. One that's a striated fractal, and then one that's just this standard bumpy fractal. Well, what we can do is combine these two into a layered texture. Okay, and you can find the layered texture down about halfway down underneath your nodes. Okay, so I'm going to make a new layered texture. Double click on that to open it up in the attribute editor. And what we can do is take these two fractals and just middle click, drag them in, and you'll probably have to go in and delete this green swatch. So let's just click on that to delete it. Remove this. So what we now have is fractal 1 and then fractal 2. The way that Maya reads these is whichever fractal is in front, or whatever node you happen to have in front, it's going to calculate that as being on top. So what I actually probably want is fractal 2 to be on top. So to rearrange these, what you can do is just middle click, drag them, and that'll readjust the stacking order. Okay, on this fractal 2, what I really want for this layered texture is to be able to see both of these ramps, or both of these fractals within this one image. So what we can do is take this fractal 2 and with this fractal 2, let's try this again. Okay, we'll select the fractal 2, and now what we can do is in the blend mode, let's set this to multiply, which what multiply will do is it will basically take all of the white and make it transparent. Okay, so if you take a look at our resulting layered texture, what we now have is a striated fractal with these little darker spots showing through. Okay, and that should now give us a pretty good result for our bump map. Okay, so let's go ahead and this fractal that we've got plugged into this ramp, let's go ahead and just select this connection and hit delete to sever that connection. Okay, and now let's open up this ramp and let's now drag this layered shader, or this layered texture, into this fractal swatch, or into this ramp swatch. Okay, so now here's what we have for the bump map. So now, with this new bump map made, let's take a look now at what we've got. And now what we have is a horn that has both the striations and the bumpiness of both of the fractals. So that's where you can use a layered texture to achieve some of the looks that would be very difficult to achieve in something like Photoshop. Okay, so in the next video, we'll start to work on the teeth of our monster.